Now, normally at about this time, we talk entertainment news,
yes.
right? We talk about all the stuff happening today, but we've got a special guest joining us, I hear.
What a treat.
What a treat this is. Let's dial in a friend from Toronto here. Ladies and gentlemen, making his appearance here on Breakfast Television. A round of applause for Nicolas Cage. Are you there? There he is. Good morning, Nick. It's Kylan Thor with you.
Hello. Hi, good morning.
Welcome to Canada.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oscar winner Nicolas Cage, no less, and you are here to talk about your brand new apocalyptic thriller, Left Behind. And tell us what attracted you to this project in the first place.
Well, it was unlike anything I'd done before. First, let's begin with the idea of me playing a pilot, and that was new. And then to have all my passengers, or many of my passengers, vanish literally on the aircraft, try to remain calm, and land the plane after an accident and get people home safely, and somehow try to make sense out of this extraordinary situation that's happening on the plane. On top of that, my character is sort of experiencing the call of the wild. He has some flaws. He has a flirtation with an attractive flight attendant, but in the middle of the crisis, he goes back to what's really important to him, his family and those values, and realizes he has to return to that. And I like that. I think that's the heart of the movie, that he discovers what's truly important, and it's family.
I love how there's always an attractive flight attendant in these kind of movies. What was it like shooting scenes in such a confined space on board of a set for an airplane? Well,
I thought it was wonderful. I don't know why exactly, but even when I did World Trade Center and I was at the bottom of the basement of the building in the scenes, they had built this little box that I was in. And in this movie, I'm in this tiny kind of pilot's compartment, the cabin. I find it relaxes me. I don't know why. Because I have less distractions. I can go more inward and focus on trying to get my emotion to deliver the performance.
Nicholas, the movie is based on the New York Times best-selling book series, and a lot of times in pop culture today, in movies and television, we hear stories about the apocalypse and the rapture. Why do you think that genre captivates audiences so much now?
You know, I don't really know, but there's certainly something in the air, in the zeitgeist, if you will, that's going on. I mean, I know there was a TV series called The Leftovers, I believe. I hadn't seen it, but I think historically people get different ideas, or they get the same ideas at the same time, and this is happening with this kind of subject matter as well.
Nicholas, you've obviously, with your line of work, you've flown all over the world. What kind of a flyer are you? Are you a window seat kind of guy or an aisle seat kind of guy?
Well, I remember as a child I was more of a window seat kind of a guy, and then as I got older I became more of a aisle kind of a guy. I guess you can connect the dots.
And Nicholas, you mentioned about family in the movie, about how your character sort of comes back and realizes what he has. How does that translate into your real life? Because I know you're a big family man, and you want this movie to sort of inspire discussions with families. How do you think a lot of those sort of discussions will take place, and what will they be about?
Well, you never really know how an audience will respond to a movie, but I think that this particular script and this movie raised as many questions as answers about faith, and about what's really important. And I'm hopeful that people will see the movie and they'll go to dinner and they'll talk about, well, what do you believe? Well, what do you believe? And what's important to you? For me, it was as simple as the heart of the movie being a man who has lost his way, has lost track of what's important, but gets back to what he finds valuable, which is his family. I think people can connect with that. I mean, I think many people, and powerful people, lose their path and find a flirtation or an attraction, and then they realize, well, this isn't really what is important in crisis. They know that I want to say I love you to my child or to my wife or my husband, and this movie really explores that.
Nicholas, last question before we let you go. Obviously, you're on the East Coast. We're here on the West Coast right now. It's 5:49 in the morning. Are you normally a morning guy? Like, what time do you get up on a regular day here?
I'm so glad you asked. I am a morning man. I'm normally on farmer's hours. I go to bed at 9 and I wake up at 5, but I have been working nights. I literally work from 6 p.m. and I'm still working. So my circadian rhythm is entirely off. I do better when I can be on a morning schedule or a day schedule.
Nice.
Well, he also can do the weather, of course, with the weatherman. Maybe he could fill in for Russell Cade one day.
Yeah, we got a job for here if you want one.
Be careful, I might take you up on that.
All right. Nicolas Cage joining us live from Toronto this morning. A pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much. Of course, you can check out Left Behind, his newest project. Thanks very much for joining us. You have a great day.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you. You too.
All right. There you go.
Wow.
We just talked to Nicolas Cage.
Quite the showman.
Yeah.
Love that.